Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019, and I'm bringing this video to you because I finally received my debit card for my business checking account, which means I was able to purchase the domain for my website. And I'm just kind of bringing you up to speed on how it was I accomplished that and some of the things that I now have access to now that I'm a registered owner of a domain. So I used Google Domains to purchase my website, and the reason I chose to do that, there's several options out there, including GoDaddy and Namecheap and a few other ones of the like. But in conversation with Ben North, if you'll remember Ben, he's actually the developer that I'm utilizing to have my website created and developed. He said that the customer service experience can be decisively different from some of those different suppliers, and he recommended GoDaddy or Google Domains. And how that conversation even started is because they're a little bit more expensive than the other ones. I mean, we're talking a few dollars. The difference was $8 on Namecheap versus $12 through Google. And I asked him why that might be, because I didn't quite understand why there would even be a price difference, as small as it may be. And in his opinion, he said that should you ever have any need for the domain holders or whatever that is their part in this transaction happens to be, if you ever need anything from them, something goes awry with your domain and the acquisition of it or the maintenance of it off into the future, he recommended that Google was one of the better ones at actually helping you, because if your website is down, that can be extremely imperative, have negative ramifications for the hours or days on which your website's not active. And apparently they're more helpful to finding solutions to getting it back up. And so I figured it was worth the extra $4 a year to have that service at least feedback and review from Ben. So I utilized Google Domains. It cost me $12 to register the domain name that we've gone through and identified, which is steelpcgroup.com. Again, remember, spcgroup.com was not available. It's originally what I wanted. And I settled for steelpcgroup.com, which I do like. That's going to renew on an annual basis. So you can see on July 23rd of next year, it's going to renew. I have that set up to do so automatically. And I also, for no extra cost, have privacy protection turned on. What this means is that my personal information as the owner of this domain is not going to be made available to the public through the registrar, which I really appreciate that, because now that I own a website, or at least the domain for one, much like doing anything else in business, you're probably going to get contacted a lot with advertisement for, business loans, business banking, whatever it is that people are trying to get out of you for doing so. And I like to limit their options and ability to be able to contact me. So I have that turned on. That came at no extra cost through Google Domains, which I appreciate. The rest of this really didn't mean a whole lot of anything to me, not being a web developer or really familiar with this. But thankfully, I'm able to pass all of that responsibility on to the capable hands of Ben North. So here, Google does offer some, as they at least claim it to be, some simple services where you can do things like create your own custom address, email address. So I could go in here feasibly and make a rjangle@steelpcgroup.com email where I can start receiving those. They offer some services to help create your own website since they're hosting it. And there's a little breakdown of it cost me $12 plus tax, and it's going to auto renew in about a year. So there are some other things shown on here. The next one is the registration settings. And to be honest, this is the only other part of this that I've even delved in with whatsoever. The very first area of this tile right here, the domain permissions, I added Ben as a user of this domain in order that he can go in and do his magic to actually create the website. I had to do that in order for him to have any access to this domain to utilize the steelcpgroup.com URL, and he's going to take it from there. Other than that, had just some privacy protection information I can switch on and off, do this, that, and the other thing. Has my contact information, though it's not available to the public. And there are a whole bunch of settings on here that I can change. This is where I'd actually go to delete it or to turn off the auto renew if I wanted it to phase out, do this, that, and the other thing. As far as the DNS goes, that's I'm speaking quite ignorantly here, so you'll have to forgive me, but that has something to do with where the domain is actually stored, like on a server, the information base of that. If you want to store that locally, if you have a small business server, which probably means you're a good sized and long-standing business to begin with, it just gives you a little bit more control and knowledge as where this information is being stored. So because you always run the risk of things quite like this, that it's going to be stored on somebody's hard drive overseas, right? And then things can go wrong. I can't speak too intelligently to that matter, but people like to store their domains on their own servers for whatever reason that may be. Other than that, they have some options here where they have their different tools and services to actually help you build your own website. You can forward things to an existing web page, things of that nature. I already apparently have an email or something to that effect that I can at least set up or have auto forwarded to maybe an existing email address that I'm utilizing. But long story short, this was very cheap. This was very simple. It's going to auto renew every year, and it's just the foundation for what exactly Ben needed to actually build a website for me. A whole lot of this means very little to me. Perhaps it means more to you, and you'll have to forgive me for that. But this was not a difficult or overwhelming process by any means. I'm very much looking forward to the development of my website in the coming days. The expected lead time, especially with the information that I've provided to Ben already for what it is I'm looking for in terms of content and structure, is about 10 days. So I'm hoping to have that prepared in time for some events, networking events, and shows that I'm going to be attending here in the near future. And hopefully I can actually have something of a marketing tool that I can go out and start actually peddling my services in the marketplace. I'm very much looking forward to that. I can't say that I've honestly ventured off as a representative of the SBC group yet trying to acquire any business. I've been waiting for my website for that to happen, and we're nearing the completion of that. So the website in and of itself in its entirety is yet to be developed, but I'm going to be bringing you updates on that as they come, so you can see what that's like as well. And I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me today. As always, please do subscribe to this channel, and I always encourage your questions, your comments, and your feedback. Please add them to the posting of this video, and I'll see you next time as we get closer to my actually having a website for my business. Thank you.